Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how
He's alive!
Welcome to Where the Weird Ones Are.
Every time I speak, I want the truth to come out.
Powerful figures in Hollywood, as well as powerful politicians who are in fact not human. They're reptiles, or they're lizards, or perhaps extraterrestrials.
I don't think it is a human. I think it's a Sasquatch.
Go ahead and run. Run home and cry to mama.
Let's get weird.
What's up, you fucking weirdos? Welcome to another episode of Where the Weird Ones Are. My name is Kevin, but you probably already knew that, and if you didn't, now you do. Today's episode is with Dave. He is the host of Cryptid Cocktail Party. It's actually a pretty good fucking show, and in my opinion, if you haven't checked it out, go give it a try. I think you'll enjoy it. So today we talk about, ghosts, we talk about cryptids, we talk about aliens. And Dave is a little more skeptic than believer, but he is a believer at the same time, if that makes sense, if how I'm saying it. But neither one of us believe that the Miami Mall incident was aliens, so we talk about that. We talk about some of the strange occurrences that he had when, as a child, that are pretty interesting. And I get it. I ask his opinion on a couple different cryptids and whatnot. But it was a good conversation. And I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed, he's a good dude. I like him a lot. And I met him in Pennsylvania at Squonkapalooza, and he was vending, but he had nothing to vend, which was fucking hilarious. He had, he ordered a bunch of stuff or to vend, for his podcast and whatnot, and it didn't come in time for the event. And I remember like walking up to his table and being like, what the fuck? And I asked him, I was like, what do you got? What's going on here? And then he explained the situation to me. But I did get this it's a huge sticker. It's a bumper sticker kind of thing from him where it said, Mothman gave me pink eye or some shit like that. That's a fucking, I don't know. It's pretty funny. He's a pretty funny dude too. And he's also a New Englander. He's not, he's a transplant out there in Pennsylvania. I think his wife had to go out there for school or something. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure he talks about it in the episode. And then we talk about, Squonk and stuff. But yeah, other than that, like, I hope you guys enjoy the show. Like, follow, share, subscribe. Leave a rating and review. You can leave a rating and review on the website if you so choose to do so. That would be fucking great. Getting some action on the website. So yeah, you can get to the merch store through the website as well. That's www.wheretheweirdonesarepodcast.com. There's a blog on there, and there's also a chat room on there. But in order to access the chat room, you need the passcode, and to get the passcode, you need to be a Patreon member, and that's weirdos only on Patreon. I should probably start putting the link in the motherfucking show notes for all this shit. But yeah, Yeah. Patreon's only $5 a month. It's very, very cheap. It's pretty cheap. You get extra segment, which I have not done yet, called Story Time. So hopefully, within this coming week, I will have a episode for Story Time out. You get early access to the shows. You get a free coffee mug, and you get the passcode to the chat room. So yeah, if you're interested, I'd love to have you in there. If you're not interested, that is totally fine too. Also, I will be at Encounter Quest on April 13th. I will be vending, so come say hi. It's in Hamlet, North Carolina. I'd love to see you guys out there. There's going to be, speakers and a whole bunch of other people doing some cool shit. So come check us out. If you want to know more about it, just go to encounterquest.com. So also I'll be vending at 40 Fest. That's June 8th, right here in Sanford, Maine at the Memorial Gym. So if you're in the area as well, come fucking say hi. Other than that, man, that's all I got for you today. I really hope you enjoy this conversation that I have with Dave. And check out his podcast, show him some love. Yeah, 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 yeah. All right, everybody, let's get into it.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Let's get weird. Let's get weird. Let's get weird. Let's get weird. Weird. Get weird.
What's up, party people? I am here with Dave from oh my god, Cryptid Cocktail. It's a pretty good podcast. I listen to it every week. So if you don't, then I don't know. There must be something wrong with you.
You're too generous.
But anyways, I met him at Squonkapalooza, and it was a good conversation then, and I figured after listening to his podcast that I would have him on and we can talk about some weird shit. So if you don't mind, man, just introduce yourself and your podcast and just what it is the show is about and everything.
Yeah, so I'm Dave. I host Cryptid Cocktail Party. It's a weekly podcast about cryptids, aliens. We do like silly conspiracy theories. But yeah, the whole gist is that I bring on different guests or friends who know nothing about the paranormal or cryptids or anything like that, and then I tell them a story and just to get their genuine reaction from it. And the entire time we're getting a little saucy, having a few drinks. And I think it makes for good content, whether or not it actually is. I don't know if your review is that spot on, but people seem to enjoy it. So, but yeah, I appreciate you having me on. It's good to see you.
That's good to see you too, man. So for everybody listening, Dave is actually from New Hampshire.
Yeah.
So he's from my neck of the woods. Like even though it's New Hampshire, like it was close enough to where I'm at. So it's kind of like it's the generalized area where he grew up is only like 20-minute drive.
Yeah, because
from where I am in Maine.
I'm from Dover, which is like literally a bridge away from Berwick, Maine, which is like I lived right on the border my entire life. So that was wild to find out when I met you at Squonkapalooza that you were from Maine, and that because we were in Pennsylvania, like
of all places,
so far away from each other. But yeah, no, that was cool.
So, what brought you to Pennsylvania, man?
So my wife, she went to UNH and she got her degree, and then she wanted it. She got her master's in architecture, and
Mm-hmm.
New England doesn't really have a lot of like really good architecture schools, so she applied to, uh, I think it was like Philadelphia University or something like that. She got accepted, and then it changed to Jefferson. But anyway, so we came down here so she could get her master's degree, and then we were gonna move back, but then she landed like her dream job, like like so there's like
Nice.
no way we could have passed it up. So we're staying down here for a little bit longer. They have an office in Boston, so we might like do like a move somewhere in between Boston and like Dover area, which I don't even know what that would be. Like I don't know, Newburyport maybe, but I feel like I feel like
Maybe.
Newburyport is one of those places where I wouldn't fit in. Like that's too classy for my blood. Like I just
Really?
you don't think so? I feel like Newburyport is
The-
like like I would like she would fit in perfectly, but I'd just be like, "Hey guys, what's going on?" And I mean, like, I can't do it.
I
But
don't
yeah,
know.
no,
For work, I was just in Newburyport, picking up a dumpster, and it looked like the projects where I was. You know what I mean? There's like
well,
people
maybe it's
outside
changing because
scratching themselves. Like they're like, oh. I was like, what the hell is this guy doing?
no, I feel like maybe it changed. I just always assumed that Newburyport was like, yeah, maybe I don't know.
Well,
Not,
I mean, the majority of it is nice. This was probably just happened to be this one particular area,
you were on the
which
border
I
of New.
feel like
Sounds,
every town has one of those spots. You know what I mean? That
sounds
one of
like
those. It's
you were more in the Amesbury area than.
probably
We're
actually.
just
Now that
talking
you
shit
say
about
that.
Massachusetts towns right now. I love this. This is great. I'm having a blast.
Well, half of them I can't even pronounce. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, dude, fucking Pennsylvania's way worse. You think like New
Is
England
it?
town names are hard? There's a river that runs like near my house, not the Delaware, but another one. And it took me so I think I pronounced it when I first got here like the Skalakagana, but it's like it's the Schuylkill. But there's so many like Schuylkill should be like 5 letters max. This fucking the name of this river is like at least 9 consonants and 2 vowels. There's no way that it spells Schuylkill, and it's fucking a nightmare here.
That's
I,
fucking
I
funny
hate
as
it.
fuck. Oh man. So, um, do you have like a favorite? Like, what's your favorite cryptid that you covered on your show?
Oh man, my I wouldn't call it a cryptid. My favorite like quote unquote entity or being we ever covered has to be Sam the Sandown Clown, hands down.
Uh,
I love that guy so much, and I I don't know why. I fucking hate clowns, but there's just something about him that's so endearing. And we covered 2 stories about him. There was one that happened in the 70s and one that happened maybe like in the 90s ish. Uh, and the first sighting in the 70s, he was just like this, like there was nothing malicious about it. It was just this weird marionette-esque kind of clown that had a microphone and was talking to these 2 kids, and he would like perform tricks for them, and they just hung out, and then he left, and the kids were like, we saw a clown, and everyone's like, all right, cool, whatever. But then the second story gets a little dark, and like I think something really fucked up happened, if it even happened at all. Again, I'm like 99% sure this didn't happen, but whatever. And I don't want it to be true because it would just tarnish all of my good feelings about him. But Sam the Sandown Clown, if you don't know that story, definitely check it out. There's a podcast who did his stories better than me, and it's called the Kryptonaut Podcast. Go listen to their versions of it because it's better. I'm But to answer your question,
uh,
Sam the Sandown Clown is one of my favorite things ever. I would say he's more of a like interdimensional being. I feel like he just kind of pops in and out of existence wherever he needs to be. Not so much a cryptid
okay,
or like an actual alien or anything like that. Yeah,
that's interesting.
it's it's
Yeah. So
it's
I know
bonkers.
nothing about this guy, but I mean, I also don't like clowns so either. So I've never looked into anything about clowns.
It's not really like I feel like clown. It's like one of those things where like they call it a clown because that's the closest approximation to what you could describe it as. You know what I
Okay.
mean? And
Yeah.
the only people that ever see it apparently is children. So like that's what their closest like thing they can in their mind compare it to. Whether or
That
not
makes sense.
it actually looks like a clown, I have no fucking idea. But their descriptions make it sound that way. The second sighting, he said it was more clown scarecrow type. So I don't know if he like maybe changes what he looks like depending on who he's seeing, but the way he acts and the way he talks seems to be consistent through both the sightings. If that makes sense. I have no idea.
Yeah. So clown, I guess. Yeah. We'll just call him a clown, I guess. I mean, what else at this point? Um,
Yeah.
but have you? So I think I asked. Well, I asked you at Squonkapalooza. I can't remember what. I think you said no, but I'm just gonna ask for the sake of the show. Have you ever had like a cryptid any experience of any kind?
Cryptid, no, but I am convinced I saw a ghost one time, maybe more than once. I don't know. When I lived in Somersworth, you know where Somersworth is, right?
Absolutely.
So there's in Somersworth there's High Street, and then it gets to a cross section of High Street and like West High Street. I used to live on the house right on the corner there, and I'm 99.9% convinced that house is haunted as fuck. There's no way it couldn't have been. And one night I remember waking up and like looking at my door, and I thought my sister was standing there. So I was like, what the fuck do you want? Like, what do you need? And she just stood there. I was like, what? Like, go away. And then it just stood there for a minute, and then it like fucking just like phased out. And I was like, fuck that. Like, yeah. And I wasn't the only one that had like weird shit happen in the house. Like, my sister Kaylee had stuff happen in that house, and my brother Sean did as well. But that's the only thing that I ever saw directly was it looked just like it was like my sister standing there, and then it just like didn't say anything, just stood, and then it just went away. And it was not ideal. I did not enjoy that. And luckily my parents are divorced, so I didn't have to spend my entire time in that house. Would go back and forth, so I didn't have to deal with that shit a lot. But yeah, that was wild. But I never had a cryptid experience, and I don't know if I'd ever want one. Most of them don't sound fun.
Yeah, I had what I think is one, and it was scary as fuck to the point where I sat on my couch with my rifle until I passed out. I like passed out with the rifle in my lap, and I woke up like this. I was like, oh, my neck, but I was so scared, like I did not want to
Yeah.
confine myself to a bedroom.
Was it like a
I wanted to
Bigfoot
be.
thing, or like a?
I think it might have been Dogman, to be honest. I don't know. I saw red glowing eyes. There was a pack of coyotes outside. It was Shapley, Maine.
Yeah.
So it was all woods, and then there's a rock wall, and there was this big ass boulder that was taller than me. I'm 5'10", so the boulder was like right around 6 feet.
Yeah.
And the eyes were right above it. So it's taller than 6 feet. It was behind the rock, and it was just staring at me. And I was like,
it couldn't have been something that was like on the rock, like it was clearly behind it.
Yeah.
Fuck that, dude. No, thank you.
Yeah, the moon was so bright that night, but I couldn't because the rock wall was like in a fucking like a tree line, but there was a field on the other side, so like I could partially make out silhouettes, and I could see like the moon kind of like shining a little bit on the rocks, so I could tell that it wasn't on the rock.
Yeah, dude, I'm all set with that. That's not ideal.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was gonna come in the house.
It could have been, maybe it was the Spectre Moose. That's up in your area.
That is up here. You know what? It's
I don't know if
I think we talked about it at Squonkapalooza.
Yeah, I don't know if it has red glowing eyes, but fucking who knows, man? That thing is it's a specter. It can do whatever the fuck it wants. I feel like.
It shoots at people, so it picks up guns and shoots people.
That is my favorite fucking story. So like, because I could picture in my head just like a regular moose like biting down on a gun, and like it's just like gumming it, and then just like his tongue just hits the trigger. But like this moose had fucking intent. It was not fucking around. Like it knew exactly what it was doing, and it was like, you're done. It's all over. And this is like 5 seconds after it got its throat slit, so it's like fucking bleeding from the neck, and just shooting guns at people. I love it. It's such a wild story.
Yeah.
Spectre moose.
It is. It is. I like the first ever like recorded sighting where he was just like so in awe that he didn't shoot it. You know what I mean?
I feel like that's how most people would react. Like everyone's like, if I was in the woods and I saw a Bigfoot, why don't they just shoot it and kill it and fucking get us a body? And it's like, I feel like in that moment you're like, yo, this is crazy.
Yeah,
and
shock takes over.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, people say they'll react a different way. I will say this: the Enfield monster, though, when people saw that thing, they were not fucking around. They would unload whenever they saw it. Same thing with like the Van Meter Visitor, the fucking pterodactyl with the light on its horn. Everyone was shooting at that motherfucker. Like the dude was just trying to like hang out. He wasn't attacking anyone. He was just disrupting people's sleep cycles, which I mean, I get it too.
And the aliens at the Miami Mall, you know, they weren't trying to harm anybody. They were just showing up.
Dude, I do not
and
believe
everybody
that
started
for a
shooting.
I do
I
not
know you
believe
don't. I know you don't.
I can't. It's
That's
so
why
dumb.
I brought it up.
I hate it. I hate it. This is why I love TikTok and I hate TikTok, because someone will post just the most asinine, obnoxious bullshit, and then it gets thrown around to all these paranormal and UFO and all these other like basically meme aggregators pretty much. And then people just take it as fact, and it's like, my guy, listen, all right, you can't do this, because literally the day after someone posted the video about the cops, the one guy went on TikTok and told the whole story about how he's at the mall with his girlfriend, and then he saw shadow figures phasing in and out like Enderman from Minecraft. And then everyone ate that shit up. And then the next day he posted another video being like, I was just fucking with y'all. But no one ever posts that video. They only post the one that he said beforehand, because people only want to believe what they want to believe. I'm just talking shit right now. I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. It's
like,
fine.
I just feel like true believers in these things, they have no, you have to have a modicum of like some sort of skepticism. You have to. You can't just like undoubtedly believe whatever is put in front of you. And I said this to someone else, but it's like these types of things muddies the water for like real evidence of UFOs or aliens or cryptids or stuff like that, because real evidence, when it's put out there that you can actually be like, this is clearly what it is, people are gonna be like, yeah, well, you thought fucking Miami aliens were real. It's like it muddies the water for outside people who might be skeptical to come in and actually be like, kind of start to believe that there might be aliens or cryptids, because they're just seeing all these stupid meme fucking bullshit nonsense. And if you even try to disagree with them, they're just gonna eat you alive. And I hate it so much.
Yeah.
And I'm done ranting. I'm sorry. It just frustrates me. It frustrates me so much, because there is a lot of really good evidence out there, but people on TikTok and Instagram, they'll just be like, they'll just repost a video and be like, well, what do you think? Without giving any sort of like no context, no nothing. And it's dumb.
Yeah.
And that's,
that above footage there where they were like the aliens outside.
It's people walking side by side.
Yeah, you can kind of tell if you zoom in and stuff. But the only weird thing is that the cops had like a spotlight on them, and they were all on the other side of their cars, like with their guns drawn. That's the only weird thing that I find about that.
Well, so the one thing that I saw is I saw another video where it was like someone on the, like, it was like a ground footage, and the text on the top said like, when the portal opened and the aliens came out or whatever. They don't actually show it, but they're doing it, and you just hear this loud fucking bang. And they're trying to say that that's what it was. But no, it was fucking kids setting off fireworks inside of a mall. The reason why the police responded like that is because they thought there was a fucking terrorist attack. They weren't responding to a brawl. The brawl happened like in between the call and when they got there. They thought people were fucking blowing up the mall. Any major city would react that same way, especially after 9/11. If someone was in Philly and they were fucking shooting off legit fireworks, not just firecrackers, fireworks inside of a mall, people would think that they were under attack, and Philly police force would do the same exact fucking thing. They didn't shut down the fucking airports over the airspace over Miami. You can look that up. There was no blackouts. They didn't black out the neighborhood like people are saying they did. Like, no one looks into these things. They just see a TikTok video, expect that user 997598854 is telling the truth, and they just go off that, and then another bigger alien or cryptid or whatever page will take that story, do the same thing. Maybe they'll add a little flavor to spice it up to get more views, and then it just becomes the whole thing. And that's where it muddies the water between what actually happened and what did. Because let's put it this way, our government is so inept that they can't do these giant, like, they can't do these cover-ups. There's no way they could. You know what I mean?
Because it's all governments, though.
But it's just like
no, I get what you're saying. No.
But that's what I was saying. Like, when people talk about cover-ups, they have to understand that they can't just, it's not just the media covering it up. There are, like, that Miami thing, there are hundreds of people that they would have to keep quiet, and there's no way they could do that. It's like every conspiracy theory that involves like cover-ups, there's no fucking way that they could do, because once you start asking certain questions, the whole fucking system breaks down of what your cover-up story is. And to believe that our government can't even do a 9/11 without, properly, the 9/11 thing is dumb. Why is this any different? It's all a nightmare. Okay, I'm done ranting.
Life is a nightmare, my friend.
I'm coming in hot, dude. Like I said, I had bottomless mimosas and fucking Bloody Marys, and I'm here for it now.
Yeah.
Am I even making sense?
No, you make sense. I look into a lot of these conspiracies and stuff like that. I don't believe the Miami thing is were aliens. I think maybe something else was also going on too, other than like the fucking fireworks and shit. Like maybe there was something fucking weird, but there was also reports. So I heard there was also reports that people saw sea monsters coming out of the fucking water. I was like, what the fuck is that?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about, is that they'll say the alien thing, and then some other page will say something else, and then someone else will pick that up, and then, you know what I mean? Like, now,
yeah,
who knows what's next? It's just gonna keep going until at one point someone's like, all right, that's enough. We're done with this. Like, and then the next weird, because like right now the new thing is that weird like droid thing going across the desert.
Yeah, I saw that.
You know what I mean? Like, no one's talking about Miami anymore. They're talking about that. And but that actually is pretty sick. I do like that one.
I like that one too. But yeah, no, I definitely like, cause I heard I listened to a podcast actually this morning about Miami, and it was from the perspective of a former police officer, law enforcement. And he said that even like an active shooter event wouldn't have caused that much of the force to show up. But with you saying that they thought it was a terrorist attack, that makes a little more sense of, the presence.
Yeah, because if you watch the video with the people running and the dude saying, "This is the sound of the portal," like, it's not firecrackers. Like, this is a fucking bang. Like, it's loud. And you could, because I'm pretty sure they weren't just like fireworks in the sense that like we think of like kids having fireworks, where it's like, because I don't know if you, but I think in Maine and New Hampshire fireworks are illegal, right? You can't, or no, Maine they're illegal, right? You can get them in Seabrook.
Yeah, Maine and New Hampshire they're illegal. There's just certain towns that it's illegal.
Yeah, so like we can't buy mortar fireworks. You know what I mean? Like, we can't buy the ones that go boom. Like, the sound sounded like one of those. Like, it was a big fucking explosion. Like, so it wasn't just kids lighting off like those fucking strips of firecrackers. Like, this was like, so they had to, I would hope they would respond to something like that in force. Not that I love
Yeah.
cops. So like, what the fuck are they gonna do against a terrorist? But I mean, like, I don't know. It's just exhausting. Because like no matter who, because I have a guy at work who like believes all of this stuff. Like he's a big Bigfoot guy. He's a big like, but he gets all of his information from like monster hunters on like the Travel Channel and the History Channel. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
don't believe half the shit he tells me. But he always texts me stuff, and it's like it's exhausting. I can't explain to you how this is dumb, and but I have to every day just to like be like just so I'm like not go insane. I don't know. And this is coming
It's
from me,
fun to
someone
have
who,
those people around though sometimes.
but it's wild because like this is coming from me, someone who does a whole show about things that most people
Might
don't
not.
believe in. And like, do
Yeah.
I believe in every cryptid that I do a story about? No. Do I believe that people saw something that they can't explain and maybe is unexplainable? 100%. But I don't do my show to like prove or disprove these beings. It's more so I just enjoy the stories. I think they're fun, and I like to live in a world of wonder and fantasy. But I hate being like, but you have to have a healthy sense of skepticism, or else you're just gonna, no one's gonna want to talk to you ever again.
100% agree with you on that. Now, so with your skepticism and whatnot, like, do you happen to be religious at all?
No, not even a little bit.
Not even a little bit.
I
Do you
no.
believe in something higher or anything at all? Like,
See, I don't know. I not really though. I don't. Maybe it's I guess more agnostic than anything, because like,
yeah,
but that's where like my skepticism of like not cryptid, like the paranormal comes in. Everyone talks about like demonic spirits, and like I don't believe in demonic spirits because that means there's a demon, and then that means there's a hell, which means there's a heaven. I don't believe that. I just believe that if you're a shitty person, when you die, energy doesn't go away. It just turns into something else. So why can't it be a ghost? And if you're a shitty person, why can't your ghost be a shitty person? I don't, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. No, that
it's,
makes sense.
so no, I don't. And so, yeah, so my skepticism doesn't come from that. Like, it just comes from being a rational thinking person.
I got you. I got you.
Yeah.
The more I feel like the more I was just actually talking to somebody about religion the other day. And I feel like the more people that I talk to about like the ghost and paranormal, the spirits and whatnot, like I feel like I'm starting to be like I'm maybe I'm Christian, like I'm starting to kind of believe in that kind of stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, I could still be wrong, you know, and maybe not believing in like a god or a creator, maybe that's wrong. Like I don't know.
There's no wrong or
The
right.
thing
I mean,
that exactly the whole purpose of this stuff is to share our ideas and to share our thoughts and
yeah.
and
But like,
and, and whatnot.
who really knows? No one really knows. But I
Exactly.
mean, like
Exactly.
if like I have nothing against religion or religious people. That's awesome. Like, do you, man?
Yeah.
If that's what you need to like get through your day and like be a better person, hell yeah, man. Fucking go for it, dude. I'm not gonna knock you for it.
Mhm.
But at the same time, like I said, like I can't get behind demons, and because you never hear of someone being possessed by an angel. You know what I mean? Like it's always, you know what I mean? Like why aren't they doing it the opposite way? Why is it always got to be a demonic spirit possessing me or haunting my house? You never hear of like, yeah, an angel's haunting my house. It's a nightmare because it has a billion eyes and a bunch of wings, but you know, it's like
Yeah.
I just feel like it's not for me. I'm not gonna knock it. Again, I don't fucking I don't know. I don't know. And I'll never know. I'll never know until I die. But
Yeah.
I feel like I live my life to the point where if I do die and there is an afterlife, no matter what it is, I hope I'm not that shitty of a person. I did grow up next to Rochester, New Hampshire, so I might, might not have made the
Ouch.
best choices in my life.
Yeah. 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 Keep hearing something. I think there's a ghost in here.
Oh shit.
But it might be raining. Hold on a sec.
Oh dude, it's been rain, dude. It's been raining here nonstop. And last night when I was coming home from work, we live right on the river, like right on the Delaware. And last night I was coming from
Yeah.
work. There was no water anywhere. Like it was fine, whatever. Today I went to the beer store after brunch, and I thought my car was going to start floating. Like that's how much water was underneath like this bridge. Like it was
No.
bonkers, dude. And I didn't get like, I was like, the water doesn't seem that high. Like also, mind you, I drive a Chevy Spark. It's literally 6 inches off the ground. Like it's not a tall car. And I was
I
like, why is
drove to North Carolina last
I was
year
like,
in
why
one of
is
those.
everyone fucking going so slow? And then I just fucking I honestly thought I was gonna die. It's a nightmare.
That's funny.
Well,
Everywhere's flooding.
well, what sucks is that like, so we're from New England. During the winter, you're used to like just snow. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it snows. And the one thing I miss about New England is shoveling. I loved shoveling. So like when it was a nor'easter, like, once every like 2 hours, I would grab a beer, go outside, shovel my driveway, steps, walkway. I loved it. It was like my weird Zen thing. And I was like, so when we moved to Philly, I was like, oh, well, Philly still kind of northeasternly. Dude, it hasn't snowed more than an inch in like the 5 years that I've been here. And it bums me out. And I think it's because we live on a giant cement slab of a city. So like all the heat just absorbs into the ground, and then it doesn't even snow. It's a nightmare. I hate it. I want snow.
That's lame.
I want a nor'easter. Now all our nor'easters are just rain, and it's a bummer. Sorry, we're getting off topic. This has nothing to do with cryptids. I just,
It's fine, but I just gotta say real quick, we haven't had much snow at all this year. Holy fuck. That is rain, and it's fucking getting heavy.
coming down.
Yeah, it's fucking. I thought it was gonna fucking be done at 1 o'clock, but apparently not.
Well, if it makes you
But
feel any
yeah,
better, I can't hear it, so I don't think it's going to affect the recording.
good. But Hampton was underwater at the beginning of this week, like
Hampton should
almost
be
the entire
underwater
town.
just because of Hampton. For those of you who listening who don't know about Hampton, New Hampshire, it's basically the Jersey Shore, but way worse.
Mm,
I used to
Yeah.
go there as a kid to buy bootleg Pokemon cards, and
no shit.
you knew it was bootleg because the back of the card was upside down on all of them. But like that was the only place as like a kid you could go to the Hampton Beach Boardwalk. You could buy bootleg Pokemon cards. You could buy brass knuckles with a taser in them, and you could buy katanas, just all in one like little block. And
Yep.
it's a nightmare. And that place should be underwater. And that's
Yeah.
my two.
The last time I was there was actually this past summer. I rode my bike down there, and if you can't freaking people just walk out in front of you. No,
Yeah,
they
they don't give
don't
a
look
fuck.
at you. They don't acknowledge that you were just in the road, that you're trying to fucking drive. I mean, other cars don't fucking give a fuck about you, especially bikes. First of all, and that's like everywhere. And then I went down there for Bernie's and ate mussels for the first ever time, and they were amazing. I was like, why haven't I tried this ever in my life before today?
I'm not
But
I'm not a big seafood guy, which is weird coming from someone who's from a
New England,
wildly massive seafood area. But I will say
Yeah.
this: steamers, my guy. That's the
Yeah.
shit. It's so good. It's just
Yeah.
fucking just rip them out, dip it in butter. I think I'm just a fan of dipping sauces because I don't like seafood, but I will eat cocktail shrimp because I love cocktail sauce, and I will eat fried clam strips because I love tartar sauce. But anything else besides that, I will not eat. Cooked fish is disgusting, and I hate every second of it.
Yeah, I only eat shrimp and fucking salmon. That's it. So mussels for like I was like very on the fence about the mussels, but it actually turned out to be pretty fucking great.
I can't
But other
remember.
than that, like I try to stay away from seafood.
I had
Actually, my buddy got me to eat a fucking lobster, and I'm like, I'm never eating this again. I'm never eating this again.
lobster's disgusting. It's I don't understand why people like eating the tail of a lobster is you ever when you were a kid, did you ever get like a bouncy ball from like a 25-cent machine and then bite into it?
I did get one, but I've never bitten into it. No.
Because that is the texture of a lobster tail. It is not good. I hate it. But I will say this: I don't know if this is legal or not, but I did have shark steak one time. That's pretty fucking good. And then I do like ahi tuna, which is basically just raw tuna but seared really quickly on both sides. I'll fuck with that. But you have to eat it with wasabi and soy sauce. You can't just eat that. Like it's got to be like Japanese, like traditional, or else it's just going to be disgusting.
Yeah. So, being a lover of dipping sauce, do you like hot sauce?
I do. I mean, I'm not. When I do hot sauces, I don't go crazy hot with hot sauces, but my salsas, if I'm eating like chips and salsa, I want to only be able to eat like 4 chips before I have to like take a break. Like I don't know why. I do like a really good hot sauce. Like if I'm getting like wings, sometimes I'll get like the suicide wings or whatever they call them.
Yep.
If I'm at Buffalo Wild Wings, which is rare, I'll get like the mango habanero, which isn't the hottest, but I think it is the hottest because it's so thick that it coats your throat and it's just there forever. But when I get salsa, like it's like ghost pepper, scorpion, like it's not okay. I love hot. I enjoy hot.
Nice. So I'm starting a side business, making my own hot sauces, and I'm gonna eventually sell them online. But I'm vending 2 events this year, one in North Carolina and one right here in Sanford.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and I'm gonna see how selling the hot sauce goes there first before I try and put it online.
No, dude, I almost thought. See, I was gonna do kind of the same thing, but not. Here was what I was gonna do. All right, crushed red peppers. Everyone has them, but I've never seen like crushed any other pepper. I want a hotter crushed pepper. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's like,
Like
so I
crushed
want like
ghost pepper.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I've never seen them. I don't know if they exist, but I was like, I'm gonna, because I just got like this like 9-in-1 air fryer dehydrator thing, and I was like, fuck it, dude, maybe I'll fuck around and find out. Then I found out when you dehydrate like peppers, like you can't be in the house, like you got to do it like outside, or else you're you're basically just like macing yourself the entire time. I was like, wow, maybe I got 2 dogs and a wife, like I can't just like, all right, everyone get the fuck out for 5 hours while these dehydrate real quick. But I think that'd be cool. I'd call it like Mothman's you know what I mean, like red ghost pepper flakes or whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's not a bad idea, man.
Well, if your hot sauce works out, you can take my idea and do the crushed red pepper flakes. All right.
All right. Well, there might be somebody out there that might listen to this and be like, "That's a good fucking idea. I grow ghost peppers, man."
Hey, everyone listening, shh, keep it a secret. Don't tell anyone. This is between me and Kevin. You can't. This is a private. This podcast has turned into a private conversation. If you don't want to hear this, start from like 31 minutes and wait till like 38 minutes, and then you can come back into the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
In a world where true crime meets the supernatural and the unexplained.
Where true crime and chills go hand in hand.
Welcome to Total Conundrum, the podcast that explores the dark, the eerie, and the downright mysterious.
Join us as we embark on a spine-tingling journey through the mysteries that keep you up at night.
We're diving deep into true crime stories, uncovering the most baffling cases, and exploring the twisted minds behind them.
But we don't stop there. We're also exploring the paranormal, from haunted houses to cryptids and all the creepy things that go bump in the night. Get ready for some supernatural thrills.
And what sets us apart? Prepare for a dose of dark humor as we navigate through the creepy and bizarre.
We've got it all. Bone-chilling tales, banter, and mind-boggling conundrums. You won't know whether to scream or laugh.
So grab your favorite snack, turn down the lights, and join us for a roller coaster ride of true crime and the supernatural, sprinkled with a bit of comic banter.
Stay curious, stay captivated, and let's dive into the world of Total Conundrum.
Now available on your favorite podcast platform. Get ready to be captivated, creeped out, and cracked up with Total Conundrum. Thanks for hanging out with us here at Total Conundrum. Please make sure to check out our website and blog at totalconundrum.com for news, upcoming events, merch, bloopers, and additional hysteria. You never know what will pop up, so be sure to follow along. If you want to show your support for Total Conundrum and gain access to all of our bonus content, please visit our Patreon page. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. The links are available in our show notes. If you have any questions, comments, recommendations, or stories to share, please email us at contact@totalconundrum.com. Episodes are available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. If you like the show, please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts. We appreciate the love. Keep on creeping on, mother cluckers.
There's fucking. I was gonna go into something else from that. Oh, um, what do you think about the fucking Fresno Nightcrawler?
I love Fresno Nightcrawlers. I heard someone the other day. I don't know. All right. So the Fresno Nightcrawler has only been seen twice, and it was in Fresno, California, obviously. Then there's another sighting. I don't think it was in Fresno, it was somewhere else, but it was like because there's the initial one where it's like the two walking across like the guy's front yard, and then there's another one where it was like two walking and they come up from behind a tree and then go behind another tree. Someone, I don't know who it was on some random video or something like that. They put in the comments that if you look closely, it's just a cat walking towards the camera. And so I literally this is like recently too. So I went back and I was watching those videos aggressively for like a good few hours. Like, and I was at work too, and I probably should have been doing like actual stuff. Like I fell behind. And I was like, no, dude, there's no fucking cat here. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't understand. Like, it looks silly. It looks like it does look like a marionette kind of thing. But also, when those came out, like,
it does.
You couldn't really like. I remember watching this show. I forget what it's called. It was something on. It was like one of those dumb like Discovery shows. They were trying to like debunk paranormal and like cryptid videos and stuff like that. Yeah. And they tried to recreate it, and even they couldn't get it. Like they couldn't figure it out. But what's weird is that so you have the Fresno Nightcrawlers, and then there was another incident not related. It's called the Carmel area creature, and it was kind the description of it was kind of that of the Fresno Nightcrawlers. It was kind of like, but a little different. Not really. It didn't have any arms. It was just 2 legs and like a head, but it was like the same like smooth body, no arms. And then, but also I found out there's this legend. Not I don't know how you even describe it. It's like the Wendigo, like a Native American folklore about. They're called stick people, and there's like cave drawings on the walls and all these like not hieroglyphs, petroglyphs of like these things, and it's kind of that. They're a little bit taller, but again, the Fresno Nightcrawlers don't really have a scale for them because they're just kind of like walking across open land. Yeah, the Carmelaria creature is kind of the same thing. It was seen by like a Marine and his wife. They were like driving home one night and they like walked across the road. But then so because I was going to do an episode on the Carmelaria creature, and then I started going deeper into it, and I was like, this is the fucking Fresno Nightcrawler, and then I was going into like the lore behind it and the Native American stick people. And it was like, I can't, like, this is not going to be a half-hour episode. This is when I first started the show too. So I wasn't thinking about doing like 2-parters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I love the Fresno Nightcrawlers. Are they real, fucking man? I don't know, dude. Like, it looks like, do you remember back, I don't know how old you are, but back in like the 80s and 90s, there was this craze of pants called Zubas.
That doesn't ring a bell.
I call them Joey Buttafuoco pants. They were just like these like baggy pants, like sweatpants almost, that had like designs all over them. The Fresno Nightcrawlers just look they look just like if one of those pairs of pants became sentient. And I don't know how to feel about it because it does look just like fabric. Like it looks like a marionette, and I don't know, dude. Like, the world is weird and full of weird, terrifying things. So who the fuck knows, man? But yes, the Fresno Nightcrawlers are, I'm going to say they're real just because I want them to be real, and that's how I live my life. If I want something to be real, it's just real now.
Yeah. I think like what you were saying, like be given like the time that the sighting had happened and all that, because I think it was like 2007 or whatever.
Yeah,
like it was kind of hard to like fake that shit with like CCTV camera. Well, it wasn't even CCTV. Well, technically it is because it's surveillance.
It was like 2007 version of a ring cam.
Yeah.
Well, like, I mean, it probably wasn't hard, but I feel like for the time, like, you'd have to have a decent computer and a decent knowledge. Like, not like today. Like, I could probably recreate that on my phone today. You know what I mean?
Probably.
Like,
yeah.
Back in 2007, like,
I had a flip phone in 2007. So.
Yeah, I had a Motorola Razr. Like, come on, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the best I could do was Tetris, and it looked fine on it. You know what I mean? Like, you're not like, computers back then, like, you could get a Mac and it had iMovie on it, but I don't even think like half like the free like softwares and programs you can get now to just like make that stuff isn't there. Like, Unreal Engine was not around. Like, I'm not saying you couldn't do it. I'm just saying that, like, episode 1 came out not that long before that, and that movie didn't even look that good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so to do that at home, like, like, if Lucasfilms, if fucking Industrial Light and Magic couldn't make a realistic fucking
Jar Jar Binks.
I mean, well, no, what's weird about that movie is that the characters looked fine. It was the like the landscapes and the surroundings and like the that all looked bad, like the green screen shit. But you couldn't do that. Like, I feel like, and to get the grain right for a CCTV camera, like, I feel like that was harder than it looks back in 2007. But I don't know. I'm not a computer guy. The best I could do is I watch tutorials on how to use Adobe. So I can barely edit my own episodes, dude. Like,
Oh, dude, I have the hardest time. I've had the hardest time trying to figure this out. The reason why I ended up getting this mic is because I bought a newer computer and my mics weren't working on anything that I was recording with. and I was
Yeah.
like, what the fuck is happening? So I went and got this mic, right? And
Yeah.
now it's fine again, and I'm just like, fuck, what the hell happened? And then I had one of my other mics plugged in recently too, because me and my kid started a podcast together
Hell
where
yeah,
we
dude.
review movies, and I introduce them to movies I grew up with.
Yeah.
And then we talk about it. So we only have 2 episodes out so far, and we did Stand By Me and Home Alone.
Oh, you made them watch Stand By. You trying to ruin their lives that quick, dude? And then
they're
you're like,
teenagers now.
where you're like, that's Fat Jerry O'Connell. He was in a show called Sliders in the 2000s.
Yeah. You know what? You know what's funny? Because I know Jerry O'Connell, and I never realized that was him in
Are you
that movie.
serious? How did you? Oh, because he was fat. Because he was a fat
Yeah,
child.
exactly. Yeah, and his voice doesn't seem like it would turn into Jerry O'Connell. Like nothing about him as Vern said Jerry O'Connell, and I was like,
What's
because I was
wild?
doing the research on the movie, and I was like, oh my god, that's Jerry O'Connell. What the fuck?
What's wild about him is that he has a twin, and
Yep,
is it his twin? Yeah,
yeah.
But you can
think,
but you can easily tell the two apart. But I think they're identical, which is wild. I feel like I shouldn't be able to easily tell. Be like, that's not Jerry O'Connell. But did you ever watch Sliders with Jerry O'Connell?
I did a little bit, yeah.
Oh god, that show was so good. I mean, well, it's not good, but it had fucking Gimli from Lord of the Rings in it. That was a star-studded cast. All right, we're getting off topic. Not that we had a topic to begin with, but
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Your episode description, your show description does say conversational show, so
that's what it is. That's what it is. So back to the Miami thing, though. I saw a video on TikTok where these fucking like shadow beings are popping out, and I was like, "Oh my god, that is so fake!" Like that's literally nobody's reacting to them.
Wait, hold on. Was it the one where the like the portal opens up and it's like the circle thing?
I saw that one too, but no, like this,
these
one, huge shadow beings just like pop up out of nowhere, and nobody's like looking at them or anything. I'm just like, that's not real.
Well, that's the thing too. Like I didn't see that one, but I saw the one where like you see like this fucking spark thing just start like shooting in circles, and I was like, either A, that's just they just took that from like Doctor Strange, like they just put that fucking thing in there. Or again, they were shooting off fireworks. You know, the ones that just jump off the ground and start spinning in circles, and like, but then again, no one's reacting really to it, and that's the thing I hate about it. It's
nobody's
like
even looking at it.
Yeah, it's like you're telling me you're not, like you're just gonna stand there and be like, oh, this is normal. This is an everyday thing that happens in my life. Like, what is your life where you're just unfazed by something like that? Well, it's like I saw a TikTok about the Miami thing, and they're like, and again, it was one of those things where it's just like a fucking arrow hand pointing, like, watch here, and then it'll happen, and then it was that, and then it's like, did you see the 10-foot tall ant? And it's like, motherfucker, that's a statue.
Oh.
They were driving by a park, and it was a statue. Like, it's so. You could see the base of the statue and then the statue on it. And I was like, I hate this world so much. Because I feel like it's one of those things like everyone just wants their they just want clout on the internet. And I hate it.
Unfortunately, that's a lot of people, I feel like. A lot of people are out here for clicks and views.
Don't get me wrong. I'm chasing clicks and views, but not for the same reasons. You know what I mean? Like, I want people to listen to my stuff, but I'm not going to lie to them. I'm not going to be like, new episode out, bomb dropping evidence about this, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, I get drunk, talk to my friends about fucking weird shit. If you want to hear it, you can hear it, but I'm not gonna lie to you.
Oh yeah. It's a crazy world we live in when our government comes out and says aliens are real, and then January 1st of the new year, everybody's like, "Oh my god, aliens!" But nobody reacted to the government being like, "Hey, aliens are real. We have the bodies." Everybody's like, "Oh yeah, what are you trying to hide?" Which,
well,
I mean, honestly, the government.
Hold on. So that was the thing, is that the day that the Miami aliens, or like whenever the Miami aliens thing broke, is the same day that the Epstein list was supposed to come out.
Yeah.
And they're saying that's a distraction, blah, blah, blah. But you can't say the Epstein list being a they're doing this to distract from that, because I remember when Epstein was arrested and then killed himself, they were saying that that was a distraction from something else. Like, not everything can be a distraction. Multiple things can happen at once. One of them clearly is a lie. But the only reason why you say it's a distraction is because you're fucking distracted by it. If you want to know about the Epstein thing, you can follow that story. You can follow two things at once if you want to. You can't call it a distraction because the Miami thing wasn't on the like mainstream news. Like, the mainstream news was covering the Epstein thing.
Epstein, yeah.
You're calling it a distraction because you're focused on this and you're posting it saying it's a distraction, so people will click on your shit and agree with you that it's a distraction instead of just fucking following the Epstein thing. Not two things can happen at once, and you can follow both of those stories. Like, is your mind so fucking narrow that you're like, oh, Epstein drops tomorrow, can't wait to figure this shit out, and then the alien things happens and you're like, oh, well, now I can't focus on the Epstein thing. I can only focus on this 5-second TikTok video of Miami police. like it's, prioritize your shit. What's more important to you? The fact that if we found out that Stephen Hawking likes to watch nude little people erase a chalkboard, or Miami aliens? You know what I mean?
Miami aliens, yeah.
I mean, if I had to choose every time, it would definitely be Stephen Hawking liking to watch little people try and solve equations on a chalkboard that's just a little bit too big for him. I don't know what he got out of that, but that's what I'm here for. I don't even know if that's true. That could be another TikTok lie that I saw, and I'm fucking going for it.
Right. I mean, who knows? I mean, who knows what the like? Look, if they obviously Epstein was fucked, and Maxwell was as well. I mean, we already know, like, from victims and stuff, like the story and stuff like that. So, like, we know things were going on. We know people went there. We know that it's a possibility that they all engaged in some of this stuff. Weird thing is that he had this weird fucking temple in the middle of his fucking thing that looked a lot like shit from Disney. That was weird. But
is it weird though? Like, if you're bringing underage children to your island, wouldn't you want something there to like kind of like ease them into it?
Right.
You're not gonna go. You're not gonna go straight from a plane to fucking old dudes. Like, you're gonna be like, hey, you're off my plane now. Let's go on. It's a small world.
Yeah.
It's called grooming, all right? And I feel like he was a master of that. Can we get, this is a bummer topic. Hey, aliens,
It
right?
is a bummer topic. Yep. You're right. You're right. You're right.
I will say, also, speaking of aliens, in that America, like, I love that after like the disclosure hearings, everyone fell in love with the Mexican alien thing, and that's also bullshit.
Yeah, well, that guy has tried to reveal that evidence like several times.
He's been scamming everyone for years.
Exactly.
And my favorite part is that everyone was calling it like it was like a Mexican congressional hearing, and it wasn't. It was literally just a town hall that anyone could go to. But no one points at
that.
Yeah, it wasn't like a formal congressional hearing. It was just like a town hall. Like, anyone could go to it. It's so basically, if you had a grievance with like the city council or you want to reveal your alien mummies to them, you could do both. It like there was nothing, like, it wasn't specifically for that. And he just was like, I have these mummies, and they were from some other country. And then that country was like, well, how the fuck did you get my alien mummies? I don't even think that part is real. But those mummies are the funniest fucking thing. They clearly look like someone put them in a cake pan. Like, it's not.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of the people that I talked to in the UFO community, they like that. I thought I literally was like seeing that video happen, like as it that first day that it started circulating.
Yeah.
And these the UFO people that I know were like, This guy's been fucking trying to present this
Oh, yeah,
as
he's-
real
he's
for
a-
like ever.
But
Don't fucking listen.
What's wild is that he's been trying to present evidence for a long time.
Yeah.
But not with those aliens. Those are new aliens. Like he made those new
okay.
aliens. There were different.
I get you.
Every time he's done it, it's been different. And so
Okay.
so he must have like either he's like Banksy and he's just like doing like a weird sort of like avant-garde art where he's just like, I make these, like, you know what I mean? Like it's one of those like street art type things. Or he's the most ballsy motherfucker ever and thinks that one of these days he'll be like, got him. Like, you know, like either he's a genius or a fucking idiot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's got to be working for him then, because he's like, people believe that. You know what I mean? Like people,
There are people
truly believe that, even though like it's like, hold on, I got a cough.
Yep.
It's like I know this is probably going to cause controversy, but who are the Conjuring people, the Annabelle people, the
Ed and Lorraine?
Yeah. Known con artists and known scammers. It is known,
and Ed is a pedophile,
left and right. But people still hold them to this weird fucking like pedestal, and it's like, how can you do that? It's like fucking Zach Baggins has the original Annabelle doll like in his fucking museum or whatever, and it's like, it's not real. That's not real. You know it's not real because these people are scamming you, and you fell for it, and now people are paying money to go see it, and it's in a box and you can't touch it and all this shit. It's like, fuck you, dude. Like this, I feel like just like the conspiracy field, just like the cryptid field, just like any other field, there's these grifters who somehow find their way in, get a name for themselves, and then just grift people out of. It's just a grifting thing. It's like Alex Jones, you know what I mean? Like it's like that type grift, but people are so, again, they're such dedicated believers that like they have no sense of skepticism or anything like that. Like we talked about this already, but you have to have some sort of like, you just have to be rational, and I don't get why people can't be.
Yeah,
that's the end of my sentence.
I feel you. I feel you. Yeah, no, fucking Ed had a 15-year-old mistress, so that was fucking weird.
Yeah, that sounds right.
You know,
I believe that wholeheartedly.
And he used to beat the shit out of Lorraine, so
I will say this: they chose two way too attractive people to play them in those movies, because in real life, they are not that hot.
No. What is her name? Vera. However you say her last name, I don't know how it starts with F. That's all I know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know what her last name is. I just don't know how to fucking pronounce it. I don't know.
That sounded pretty spot on. I think you nailed it.
Well, yeah, she's a beautiful woman.
Yeah,
I remember her in that.
The guy who played Ed, the guy from Insidious.
Insidious, yeah.
Fuck, dude, handsome. I would kiss him right on the mouth. The real Ed, not even a little bit, dude. I'd be like, first of all, I'd be like, you're clearly trying to get my 15-year-old daughter into your car, and like he looks like someone who would try to get a 15-year-old mistress. Just saying.
Absolutely. So what do you think about fucking Robert the Doll then? And I think it's Key West. That's where he is.
Hold up. I don't know about Robert the Doll.
What? Do you know about
what is Robert the Doll? What is Robert the Doll?
All right, so
are you learned enough to tell me about it, or is this like a research after the fact thing?
Enough.
All right,
enough.
What is Robert the Doll? I'm already calling bullshit, because any doll, unless it's on that weird island, the Island of Dolls, not haunted.
So Robert the Doll was this doll that was given to like I think he was like some kind of sea captain or whatever, and he was gone like a lot, and he got this doll and gave it to his son.
Okay.
And the mother would like hear the son like talking to the doll, not think anything of it.
Well,
Like it
kids are
was just
fucking terrifying no matter what.
exactly. So she's like, he was just having like he was just playing. And then like he started accusing Robert of doing things, right? And like the mother's like, what the hell? And then like you could clearly see like you can see him breathing sometimes, I guess.
The
And she
doll?
saw that. Yeah, the
Nah,
chest is like
I don't buy that.
moving. And yeah, so it turned, it got like, I guess it got really dark, and they sold the doll, and um this museum ended up buying it. And I guess if you take a picture of the doll, you end up fucking weird shit ends up happening to you and all this shit. So,
This
and
sounds
that
like
is also in a case, I believe.
that sounds like just like a creepypasta. Like I don't know, man. I don't know.
I
I
I would
don't
have I feel like I would have to like be in its presence to like really know, like,
well,
because
see,
they say like it get
whenever someone says like if you take a picture of this or if you go to this place you're gonna get an attachment, blah 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 blah, and then
uh-huh,
like a million people interact with it, a million people go to a place, a million people do a thing, nothing
uh-huh.
ever happens. I don't buy that. I mean, you're right.
No?
I would have to go
Yeah.
there, take a picture, and then come home and then have like my dog float in the air. You know what I mean? I would have to like again. I'm not so skeptical to the point where I have to have something happen to me to like believe in it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
things like that, like who else witnessed it besides the mom and the son? You know what I mean? Like who else? Like there has to be more. I can't just take people on their word. You know what I mean? Like at least with like
Yeah.
cryptid stories, like with like the Flatwood Monster, or even like Sam the Sandown Clown, or the Enfield Monster, things like that. Like it wasn't just one person in one night. You know what I mean? Like it's multiple people over multiple days. Like Mothman. You know what I mean? Like it was
Yep.
people, other things happening around it that like make that lends more credibility to it, even if some of the stories maybe were made up just so they could have their name in the newspaper. But there are some parts of those stories that you can believe that someone saw something, someone believed enough in the fact that they saw this thing that they had to tell the police or tell someone else, just to
Yep.
have like a mom be like, so wait, so did the dad die?
No, I don't know actually.
Did the dad come
So
back, and was the dad like,
I
hey, what
believe
happened to this
I
fucking
believe
doll?
the dad was the one that felt like he had to get rid of it.
Because it has his, but wasn't it like he got the doll for his son so that way he felt connected to his father when his father was gone?
Yeah.
So it wasn't his father's spirit in the doll then.
No.
See, that's what I would have assumed, is that like his father. Story's not adding
You
up,
know
bro.
what? Now I gotta go down a fucking rabbit hole now for this, because I've heard this story like 100 times. There's like a show, one of those paranormal shows, like did a whole like documentary episode on the doll
Yeah.
and everything. And now I feel like I need to freaking do some like really existential fucking research on this thing. Be like, why
Wait,
the fuck was this thing haunted? If
yeah.
it
So
is,
like if the dad just went to a store, Walgreens, even like a CVS, just found he's picking up fucking Gatorade for his boat trip or whatever. What do you say? He was a sailor? What do you say?
yeah, I'm pretty sure he was like a fisherman or
Yeah.
something like that.
He's getting, he's like at the checkout lane, sees something, he's like, get her for my kid. Gives it to the son. Like, why the fuck is it haunted? If it's not like the father's spirit, like what
Yeah.
is like like why is this doll haunted? Second of all, I assumed when you were telling me this story that maybe you left out the fact the father died and that it was his father's spirit. But
No.
but even then, like if it was his father's spirit, why wouldn't you keep that? You just you just gave away your husband and slash father's spirit. Like, he just like, was the kid like fucking shit up? Was the doll like murdering people? Like, or were they just like, or was the mom just like, yeah, the light played a trick on me, thought it was breathing, and I flipped the fuck out and had to give it to a museum.
Yeah, so I looked it up so I could be a little more accurate. It says the story goes that Otto became enamored with the doll. So Otto is the son.
Love that his name is Otto. Love that.
And he named it after him. Wait, and named it after himself, Robert.
I don't know, dude. People call John Jack. Otto could be short for Robert somehow.
I guess. So Otto built the doll in his own room in the attic, complete with furniture. So the kid fucking built it. I'm sorry, I fucking fucked that story up.
Hold on, wait. The kid, so the kid got a doll, and then he was like, "Mom, I'm gonna need some supplies," and then built a whole fucking room in the attic. That's baller.
Yeah,
that's good.
It's out of old furniture and toys, including the doll's own teddy bear.
That's not
as
gonna lie,
Otto
that's a
grew,
good fucking.
He started blaming Robert for any mishaps that Robert himself had committed. That's
First
the
of all,
story.
fuck no, dude. All right, what this is how the fucking Elf on a Shelf started.
Yep.
Like, so I just need to know, is the dad dead?
Well, he is now, because this is like,
well, yeah, obviously
early fucking, this is a long time ago, but the doll is now 117 years old.
Oh shit. Well, all right, so that makes sense. I don't know. Either way, I feel like that's kind of bunk.
Yeah, you want to see what it looks like?
I mean, kind of always.
See if let's see if the camera will fucking pick it up.
Just fucking text it to me, bro. Oh, I hate that. Don't like that. I just don't like. I mean, dolls like weird old porcelain dolls are already a nightmare. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I just can't. But I don't buy. I don't. No, to answer your question that was asked 15 minutes ago. This is bullshit. I don't believe this story. I think that what we just say was 117 years old.
That's what it says. Yeah.
Oh, back then, fucking people believe that fucking witches were still alive. You know what I mean? Like, I think they had the way they lit their houses was like a hearth with a fireplace that's flickering. You could something's breathing. You could see like, just the shadows alone. Also, I'm kind of drunk, so I don't know how long 117 years ago. That could still be the 1900s, and I don't know. But either way, still gonna go with that answer. Bullshit. I'm just saying. It sounds accurate.
I think it's like 1902 or some shit.
Yeah, so I'm still right. Yeah. When was electricity invented? Not that long before. So it wasn't in every household.
1891.
It wasn't in every household then. You know what I mean? Like, it had to slowly go.
True.
If you could afford electricity, you got it. If not, you were still living like the Civil War era, and that sucks. I'm sorry. But I'm just saying, a fisherman's salary, you're not getting electricity in 1902. Fuck you, man. Like, unless you're the captain of the ship, you're not bringing in electricity money. I'm sorry. So your wife, but also if you're a fisherman in that time, because I know a fisherman now, like a lobsterman, he's gone like 4 months out of the year.
4 to 6 months, yeah.
Yeah, he goes out of Gloucester, Mass, and then he comes back and then drives back to Portsmouth. You're gone a long time. Back then, in that time, you're probably gone a year. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta think. So she's probably fucking going crazy. She's raising the small kid, driving her up the wall. You know what I mean? Like, she's losing her fucking shit. I'd probably start fucking seeing shit that wasn't there. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many factors that go into it that you just can't be like, yeah, doll's haunted. She probably fucking believed it. You know what I mean? Like, she was like, people back then were also like deeply religious. Like, you can be religious and spiritual now and still have like your sense of self. You know what I mean? Like, but back then, like, that is what you were. Like, you were like in it. Like, you were in deep. So like anything that was off sort of could have been the devil or a spirit. You know what I mean? Like, they were, but also because they had nothing else to like compare it to. But
that's true. Yeah.
Do I believe that they believed this thing was a murderous haunting doll? Yes, I do.
They also, like, I feel like thoughts and energy, like you think this certain thing or whatever.
I mean, if you want me to go into what I think ghosts are, I will gladly go into it, but it's a whole thing.
Yeah. Well, it's like Slender Man, where somebody started as a prank, but then people were like believing it was real, and it kind of like manifested, I think.
So Slender Man started as when I was in middle school. There was this website called somethingawful.com, and they used to do Photoshop. They used to do Photoshop Fridays, and they give you a prompt, and so people would see the prompt, and then they would submit their things. I was there the day on somethingawful.com when Slender Man was created. I was on that Photoshop Friday, and I remember seeing it. I remember seeing the follow-ups, and I started following that artist. Back then, you couldn't really follow people, I guess, but I kept up with it, and it was awesome. And then you kind of forget about it, whatever. And then I thought it was like 3 or 4 years ago, whatever. All of a sudden, maybe 5, probably longer than that. But it was, I remember being on some website, whatever, and it was like, teen attempts murder on friend to become Slender Man's proxy or whatever the fuck. And then like I was like, you're telling me that this fucking like I had completely forgotten about Slender Man until then. And I was just like, it blew my mind that something that started out like this had such a following. And I didn't realize that there was like creepypastas written about him. I didn't realize there was like whole things. Like, I was so not aware of it. And then to find out that's like, something from like 2004 or whenever the fuck was still like relevant in like 2015 or whatever blew my mind. And the fact that someone tried to murder someone because of it is even more bonkers. Like, did you watch Beware the Slender Man, the documentary?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
but I know it was, I knew it was like a prank and it wasn't a real thing, and people like took it seriously.
Well, yeah, but like, that's also the thing too, is like, you got to be careful. You got to have that skepticism, because there are a lot of things now that like started out as like creepypastas that people are convinced are real cryptids. You know what I mean? But then also you get into the whole tulpa thing, and then it's just like a whole thing. If you believe it's real enough, it becomes real. And I mean, I don't think that's a real thing. I mean, that's like The Secret, and I don't know. There's like a vision board for cryptids, and I don't know if I believe in that, but it could be. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, this is Maria with your Creepin' Me Out podcast. If you are into the paranormal, true crime, and just plain weird, you're going to want to listen to our podcast. My friend Jessica and I talk about all things weird and creepy, from the Hat Man to alien abductions to your creepy encounters. And that's where you, the listeners, come in. We are working on making more content for you for what your spooky little hearts desire, which means, you guessed it, we need your stories. You can email them to ycmopod@gmail.com. You can also find a link in our Instagram where you can leave a voice message. You can follow us on Instagram, Threads, and Twitter at YCMOPod. Thank you for listening, and stay creepy, my friends.
It happens to the best
Now-
of us.
Yeah. So, what do you think about the Betty and Barney Hill abductions?
Oh, well, I mean, that holds a special place for us, people that live in New England. You know what I mean? I believe in that wholeheartedly. But also they had no reason to fucking lie. They were so old. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Why would they even make any of that up? Now, am I the most well versed in that story? No, but you grew up in New Hampshire long enough. Like, I live in Dover. That happened in Portsmouth, or right near there?
I think it was more toward. I feel like it was more towards Manchester.
Yeah,
I think.
Either way, it was just that's just I believe in it wholeheartedly.
Yeah, me too. Especially given the fact that they were interracial couple, why would they want to bring attention to themselves in that day
That's
and age?
even one of the better reasons why, especially in that time when it happened, that's not a time where where you'd want to put that shit on blast. But what's wild is that when the husband, when he died, I remember hearing a story about a Men in Black scenario where a Man in Black visited another UFO sighting guy, and he was the Men in Black was oh, do you remember Barney Hill or whatever? And he's like, yeah. And he had a fucking the Man in Black had a quarter or a penny in his hand or something like that. And it started to get real hot, and it fucking phased out of existence. And he's like, that's what happened to his heart. And obviously this didn't happen. This is fucking nonsense, but this is a story that I heard. And because he didn't die from a heart, you know what I mean? He didn't die from his heart literally phasing out of his chest. But people Men in Black stories, there are still some to this day that refer to him, and it's wild. But no,
shit.
Betty and Barney Hill, 100%. They have my full throated. That happened, because if anything, I do a show about cryptids, but I do believe a lot of alien stuff. Don't believe the Miami thing. I don't believe. I mean, when I say a lot of stuff, let me be clear. I believe a lot of stuff that has to do with aliens when there's more corroborating evidence to it. You know what I mean? Like the Rendlesham Forest, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I believe in the Lake Baikal swimmers to a point. It's Russian. Who the fuck knows? Obviously, I was alive and seeing on the news at the time when the Phoenix Lights happened.
Oh no shit.
Things like that, things that multiple witnesses have seen. I believe in. We just did an episode about UFOs in the Wild West, and
oh yeah, I listened to that.
the mysterious airships. I kind of fucking vibe with that, dude. You know what I mean? Do I believe that it was all the stories? No, because some of them were fucking ridiculous. There was one where they said the pilot of an airship held another doctor at gunpoint to save someone, and it's why would an alien need a fucking gun? but hundreds of thousands of people saw those mysterious airships back in the 1800s, and things like that. I if there's enough sightings, I guess I don't even need evidence. If multiple people see the thing, that's fine. and if their stories seem credible. You can't just have someone doing like a fucking selfie video on TikTok being like, well, I was there, and then they're anonymous and you can't even find out if they're even from Miami, or you know what I mean? Like, I can't do that. I can't do that at all. There's got to be some credibility to what you're saying to me. But that's why, be like, that's why, like, my favorite cryptids, I guess, are, if you call them cryptids, are like the more extraterrestrial kinds, like Flatwoods Monster, 100% believe, just because they had no reason to fucking make that shit up. Falkville Metal Man, it's iffy, but just because it happened so close to the other metal alien sighting, I can't remember what's called right now, and things that happen close together, I guess, makes even more sense. I believe in the space penguins. I don't know if you're familiar with space penguins. Like,
no.
So, all right, I'll try and do a truncated version of it. So the space penguins is this dude who was a farmer, middle of nowhere, old man too, like old man. He's got, like, not old, but like 60s, like an old farmer. Goes out to feed his cows one day, and he sees like a UFO kind of thing just in like his east field. And it's UFO, and it has like a tube. It almost looks like a mushroom because there's a tube from the UFO to the ground.
Yeah.
And he's like, the fuck is that? So he goes up to it, and he goes and he sees like what look like pretty much alien looking like penguin things, and they're kind of like circling the tube like a midsummer, what are they called, maypole, like a maypole like dance.
Yep.
And of course he's like this fucking Midwestern farmer who's like, the fuck is this? So his first reaction is to throw a rock at it. And he throws it. There's like a force field over the whole thing, so it just kind of bounces off. So his next idea is to take a few steps closer and then throw another rock at it, and it bounces off and like hits him. And at that point, like the penguins like notice him. They go in the tube. The tube shoots up into the ship, and they just take off. That's the whole story. I don't know how I made a whole 30-minute episode about it, but there's more. I mean, I guess there's technically more to it, but yeah, space penguins, believe that only because I want to. There's no reason to believe in that. That's fucking weird. But also, why would this 60-year-old Midwestern farmer in like the 50s or whenever the fuck it happened, like, why would, like, it's one of those things where, like, I believe a lot of these things because if you look at like the people who are telling the story's background, if you look at like what they do, like where they are, like the towns they're in, the state they're in, what do they gain from telling the story? Like, in most cases, when these people, like if you look at like the Hopkinsville goblin incident or like anything like that, like for the most part, they're driven out of town. They're ridiculed and mocked like forever. Like they don't gain anything from it. So there's no reason to discredit them. Like they tell their story one time, they get fucking mocked relentlessly. Like they're not gaining anything from it. I mean, yeah, are there some people that when they tell their story, they go on tours to like MUFON conventions and shit like that? Yeah, but those are the people you can kind of tell they maybe are embellishing what they saw just to get paid to do it. You know what I mean? Like, there are like Flatwoods Monster, like I 100% believe, because they gain nothing from that. The Kelly Hopkinsville goblins, like they were literally driven out of town. Like they were mocked so relentlessly they fucked off. They were out of there. Like same thing with there's so many other cryptids and all this stuff where that happened to. And then what the most fucked up part is that years later, those same towns that laughed them out of the town will use those to make a festival or like a day out of it so they can bring in tourism. It's like, fuck you, dude. Like, that's so shitty. Like they like the Kelly's Hopsicle, they have the Green Man Festival, or whatever the fuck it's called. And it's like, you literally ruined these people's lives. Like the town collectively ruined these people's lives, and now you're monetizing off of that. Like, is any of that money going to their relatives? You know what I mean? Like, it's shitty.
It's like the dairy fairies in Derry, New Hampshire too. Like the guy described it, the way he described it is basically sounds like the Hopkinsville goblins. Just this little thing, and he got fucking like basically
laughed
bullied.
out of town.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, and then like they just get lazy. Like it's just like I don't know I don't even know the right word to describe it, but like that's such shitty. Like you're profiting off of the agony of a family who came to your police station in like earnest, like saying, "Hey, we need help. I saw this." You fucking blew them off, and then now years later, you're like, "Hey, come to this festival. This fucked up shit happened here." Oh, the family? Don't worry about them. But we got cheesesteaks down in the, you know what I mean? Like, it's just shitty. Like, I hate the profiting off of someone else's misfortune due to an alien and or a cryptid is just fucked up to me. Like,
yeah.
Oh, does that make sense? Do you get what I'm saying?
Dude, yeah, I get what you're saying. I'm sure the listeners will understand. I'm sure a lot of the listeners will be a little biased with some of your viewpoints, but that's we don't all have to agree on every single thing, and
That's
that's
true.
what I like to perpetuate here too.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, do I want to go to those festivals? 100%. I will go to. Like, if I had the money to go to like Frogman Festival, Green Man Festival, the only one I really ever want to go to is Mothman, and West Virginia is not that far from me. I could do it. I just don't.
Yeah,
but
I want to go to Mothman this year, but I hear it's very peoply.
Well, what's wild is that, like, all right, so I was talking to Mike Waddell from MetaZoo, and he's been going. MetaZoo has been going to Mothman Festival for a while now, and he was like, like a few years ago, like it wasn't that many people. Like you could go, and it was like, it was like big enough. But he said like last year, like it was like wild, like the amount of people, like the cryptid research. I don't even know how to word it. It's like, how like true crime had like a sudden boom. Like everyone is true crime, loves true crime, all that stuff. Like I'm starting to feel like that's like where like the cryptid, the paranormal stuff is starting to go. Like everyone loves a weird mystery. True crime always provided that. But now I feel like people are kind of like, I don't want to be bummed out. So like you can get that same kind of thing with like cryptid and paranormal and like hauntings and poltergeist stories or demonic possessions, whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like you can get that same type of like thrill and mystery from cryptids. And he was saying, like, even the fact that Squonkapalooza, like the amount of people at Squonkapalooza in the middle of fucking Johnstown, Pennsylvania, like it wasn't a shit ton of people, but it was way more than I even expected. You know what I mean? Like, and there's people there that came from like so far away to celebrate a
some
cryptid.
fucking weird dude fucking came from Maine to fucking
Yeah, I don't know who he was, but he came up to me and he shook my hand, and it was fucking weird. I got his business card right here. Yeah, I don't get it. But like it was weird. Like it was wild. Like to see these people like. And the thing is about the Squonk is that he's not even like. Do you know the origins of the Squonk?
I don't. I know he's described as the saddest cryptid.
So he's not even a crypt. So so the Squonk is only ever mentioned in one book, and it was William T. Cox, and it's Fearsome Creatures of the Lumberwoods, and it's lumberjack folklore. Basically, this whole concept of the book is just it was written in like the 1800s, and it was just like it's kind of like cautionary tales, I guess. Like it was how they would like explain away a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Like you got the funeral mountain whatevers, the sliding rock boulder, whatever you know what I mean? Like it just filled with like weird one-off things. And the Squonk is only mentioned once in that book. It doesn't even get a full page. It's like it's just like this weird little snippet in a book, and somehow it's captured the imagination and hearts of like everyone everywhere. And but like I said, the fact that like Squonkapalooza had that many people for its first year, like the first year, like bonkers. Like, so I do feel like the cryptid community is starting to like really like ramp up, and even if, like I said, like even if the things that we talk about aren't true or whatever, or if they're embellished, whether you believe it or not, it's basically American folklore. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah,
the years to come, these will be considered folklore stories, the same way we consider the Squonk or like things like those are, or the Wendigo or skinwalkers. That's all folklore. What were like the cryptids and stuff that happened in the 1999, that's all going to be folklore in a few years. And it's good to keep those stories alive, and because not a lot of people talk about them.
Right.
So I think what me and you and like Moth Boys and Kryptonauts podcast, like what we're doing, like I think it's a good thing because it's internet's forever. People can find out about whatever they want, and things like this will be there forever. I'm getting sentimental and weird right now. This is getting too deep.
That's the sauce. It's the sauce. We're conversing with the other spirits, because they say alcohol is spirits.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I guess the one thing that I knew about the Squonk is that it can like evaporate.
No, all right. So the Squonk, what it does is when captured and almost all right. So for anyone listening who doesn't know what the Squonk is, the Squonk looks like a very wrinkly pig, kind of. It's got warts and all this stuff. It's a very ugly creature. But the thing is that it knows it's ugly, so it constantly crying because it's self-conscious. The most relatable fucking cryptid. So it knows that it's ugly. It knows that it's unloved. And so what it will do is it just cries. And if it's cornered and almost being captured, what it will do is it will dissolve into a puddle of tears, making it unable to be captured.
Okay.
So what lumberjacks would do is they would go out into the woods. They would come back with like a bucket or a bag full of water and be like, "Hey, I got myself a Squonk," and like plop it down like as like practical joke. Like that's that's the sort that's pretty much the story of Squonk. The Squonk is just hideous, ugly, knows it's ugly, is so self-conscious that it does not stop crying because it knows how ugly it is and unloved, and then just cries itself to death. And that's why everyone loves it. I feel like that's why it's so relatable. Like we've all felt that way, you know what I mean? Like it's so relatable. But I feel like at the time when like William T. Cox was writing Fearsome Creatures, like he wasn't thinking about it being relatable. He's like, fuck this guy, he's a piece of shit. Like
yeah, probably. I mean, I saw so many people there. I met a shit ton of people. I met Cryptid Jess from Cryptid Tidbits.
Yeah, Jess.
Cryptid Bits
I
with
love
General
her.
Tidbits. Yeah.
She's doing her own. Yeah, she's doing her own thing coming up soon. She's doing her own cryptid festival thing. It's gonna be in.
I did
Yeah,
not
it's
know.
gonna. Yeah, I mean, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't talk about it. She posted a thing about it on Instagram, so I think I can talk about
Well,
it.
if she posted about it, then it's fair game.
Yeah, no,
to talk about.
she sent me a message and she's like, I want to formally invite you, and I was like, I don't mean if I can make it, I will. I mean, I probably won't be a vendor there, but if I was like, hey man, if you need like $100, like I'll fucking put my name on, you know what I mean, like just to help sponsor it.
Yeah.
But apparently, so it's in where the fuck is it? It's in Massachusetts, obviously, but it's
Right.
in like the middle of hold on, wait. I'm sorry. This is not good radio because I'm doing this. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Beyond the Shadows podcast.
In the darkest corners of our universe lie spaces where even the light won't go.
Places where terror and the unknown lurk, always waiting.
Join Ryan and Scott on the Beyond the Shadows podcast as we pull back the curtain and peer into the darkness.
We'll examine hauntings, true crimes, mysteries, UFOs, exorcisms, reincarnations, mysteries, and all things dark.
Join us as we go beyond the shadows.
All right, yeah. So it's in Raynham. It's in Raynham, Massachusetts, which is literally right in the middle of the Bridgewater Triangle. And
awesome.
So I was like, because she didn't have a name for it. She wanted to call it Massachusetts Cryptid Fest, and I was like, yeah, that's
lame.
That's yeah. And I was like, what if you call it like something Bridgewater Triangle themed? You know what I mean? Like, something doesn't like really get it in there. But apparently Lauren Coleman, the Cryptid Museum guy in Maine, apparently he coined the term, which I didn't know. I just assumed that's just what we called it. You know what I mean?
Bridgewater Triangle.
Yeah, so apparently he's a big stickler. He doesn't own like the copyright to it or anything, but he's a big stickler for people using it. Like if you use that for anything, like he'll fucking like get litigious with you. And I was like,
No
are you
shit.
fucking kidding me, dude? Like, first of all, he's an old man. I'll fight him to the death. I love what he's doing. I love what he's done for the cryptid community, but like, come on, man. That's a grifter move, and no one, the cryptid community does not have any room for any more grifters. But yeah, she's doing her own thing. I can't remember when it is. She told me when it was, but
I'm gonna have to go to it if I can. Then, especially if she's doing it.
If she's doing it, 100%, I'll gladly go.
Yeah.
She's the sweetest person I've ever met in my entire life.
Absolutely.
But I met a shit ton of people at Swampalooza. Bethany, she's on TikTok. She does a lot of really cool paranormal stuff. Cryptid Clyde, fucking love Cryptid Clyde. Hands down one of my favorite people. He was a guest on the show. Love that man. He was the booth across from me, and the booth across from him, they were it's like an anime thing or whatever, but they had a full sound system set up, and my entire thing that I went down with my computer, my Rode, and my mic, and I was going to try and record the entire time I was there, and I couldn't because they were blasting Wu-Tang as loud as they could. And
I love it.
And it wasn't like censored Wu-Tang. Like this was like full on, like protect your neck. Like this was aggressive Wu-Tang.
Bring the ruckus.
Dude, they brought it, dude. And I was texting Clyde and I was like, hey man, good thing this is a family festival because Wu-Tang is for the children. If this was any other song, but it got really aggressive to the point where I almost was going to get up and be like, hey man, like there are children here and you're talking about fucking hoes and like murdering people. Like we need to cool it. but it's whatever, dude.
Yeah.
But no, I met Conjure Dust Designs. Like Conjure Dust is one of my favorite cryptid artists. He does the whole like cryptid scouts thing. Like I met so many people that I was friends on Instagram with.
Huh.
There.
Yes,
And
same.
it was awesome. Bedlam Boy, like I already made those networks, but I didn't understand how important going to these things were to make those connections before I actually did it. You know what I mean? Like I understand like getting your name out there and branding yourself, like whatever. I can do that. I'm fine. But I didn't understand how important it was to make those connections in real life. Like, I always shared stuff. They always shared stuff. But I feel like once you meet them in person, once you talk to them, once you ever have a connection with those people, they're more apt to promote your stuff the same way you are to promote their stuff. And it's awesome. Like the cryptid community, whether it be podcasts or other artists or just fans of, if you meet those people and if you talk to them, like before that, they might share your stuff once in a while. They might like your things once in a while. But if you get to know them on a personal level, they will be more apt to either be a guest on your show or promote your stuff more or comment, like, because those things are more important to the growth of everyone than it is to just not do that. Like, so liking,
Absolutely.
commenting, sharing, making those connections is important. And Squonkapalooza really changed that. And I wish I had the money to go to all of these festivals.
Oh
You
my
know what I
God,
mean?
so
Like,
do I.
it'd be amazing. Well, how about this? What if me and you, hear me out.
All right, I'm listening.
What if we go halves on a booth for Mothman if they're not already sold out, and we just do it together?
They might be already sold out.
They
might
probably
be already sold out.
I'm
But
just saying,
I would
like,
do that. I would do
right?
that.
I feel like, if you know what I mean, like, we could just have half a table each. All I'm saying is, like, if anyone listening is like an artist or anything like that, like getting those connections, not even the connections, just network, just getting to know people that you're friends with online more so than just being online, it really helps. Like, it's awesome.
Yeah.
It helps even more, like, monetary aside. Like, I'm not making any money off my podcast. Let's be real. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, I'm not.
I've spent more money than I've received.
Exactly. And now I'm spending more money because I was on Anchor before for free. I moved to another one because my listener count started going up, and I was like, these statistics aren't for me. Like, I need more. And now I'm like, I should have stuck with fucking Anchor or Spotify for podcasts or whatever you call it.
Yeah. It's going to these events, like for like a podcast like mine where I'm seeking like guest stories and stuff
Yeah.
like that is super important. Like I've talked to so many people at some of these events, and they'll just be like, oh, actually, the majority of the time, this is how the interaction usually goes. They'll see my logo and they go, "I like your shirt," and I go, "Yeah, it's a podcast." "Oh, is it?" And I go, "Yeah." Have you ever seen anything fucking weird and strange or something you can't explain? "Yeah, actually." And they'll tell me a story. I'll be like, "You should come on the podcast," and I'll give them a fucking card. 9 times out of 10, they won't contact me, but
Yeah.
like just putting that out there, like like some people have reached out. And and Squonkapalooza, I met Shane from Inquiries, I met Heather Mosier, I met I already had met Cryptid of the Corn guys
Yeah.
in North Carolina. I met Ron Murphy for the first time, and dude, that guy, like, I walked into that theater. I don't know if you ever went down to that theater.
No, because I was there as a vendor. I couldn't, and I was alone, so
Oh,
I couldn't like
yeah.
leave my shit.
Yeah, so I went down there and I walked into the theater. The theater was wicked nice, by the way.
The people that were hosting the like the speakers. I forget what their names. They were a podcast, and they were legit some of the coolest dudes I've ever met in my entire life. It was like two guys and a girl. I forget their names. I'm so sorry, but I loved them.
Yeah. And then the freaking God damn it, Stir the Pot. There we go. Stir the Pot. Those two girls, they were fantastic.
That's
Ron
those are the
Murphy.
ones. No, Stir the Pot is two girls and a guy, right?
It's just two girls.
Well, who's
so
the guy?
You probably
There was a guy with them.
They were probably walking around with Cryptid of the Corn.
That's got to be what it was, because they were amazing. They're some of my favorite people I've ever met in my entire life, and they said that they were the ones hosting. Like, yeah, all right, I love them.
Yeah,
amazing people.
Mm-hmm.
I still need to get them on my show.
You should. I asked them to come on, and then I think they had something going on at the time back in like September, and then I just never asked again. So I should probably reach out again at some point. But their show is pretty good too. Like I love
great.
it, and I think. God damn it, I forget their names. I think actually, you want to know what? I think it's Daphne and Thelma. Thelma and Daphne.
Like Scooby-Doo?
Velma and Daphne, like Scooby Doo. Yeah, yeah. I think that's
Wait,
their
those are
names.
like for like real life.
I think so, or at least the blonde one's Daphne anyway, and I think the other one might just call herself Thelma. But
I'm making a bunch of noise right now. I'm really sorry.
It's all good. I don't hear it in my ears. But Daphne was pregnant at Squonkapalooza. She should have had the baby by now.
Oh, congratulations!
Yeah, congratulations, Daphne. I'm sure.
If you're listening, Daphne, congratulations.
She probably isn't. Nobody listens to this. I'm gonna be honest. So we're
Hey, man.
basically just talking for nobody. Just so you know.
No, that can't be real. I don't buy that for a second. Are you kidding me? Dude, I just saw a fucking Ranger Rabbit or whatever wearing your shirt.
Ranger Rabbit?
Whatever the fuck his name is, the fucking weird paranormal guy. He's one of the people that are propagating the fucking UFO thing and the Miami thing. But yeah, he was wearing your shirt.
Yeah, he's amazing, dude. He's become like one of my best friends.
Yeah, but he's also the problem. I'm not saying he is, because I commented on his. I did comment on some of his Miami things, and he was like, "No, yeah." Like his response in the comments, like he didn't hide it. He didn't direct message me and be like, "I 100% agree with you. This is fucking bullshit." He was like, he posted a video, and I was like, "I'm gonna need sources that aren't TikTok videos." And he goes, "Oh, 100%. Like I agree. Like I'm just getting people's like."
Yeah, he just likes to post video. He doesn't believe in a lot of the videos he posts. He just posts them as like thought-provoking content.
Which is fine, but that's also the same. All right. Hold on, let me gather my thoughts real quick. I get posting things as thought-provoking things. I get that. I do.
Yep.
But that's almost like the same thing as like conspiracy theorists being like, I'm just asking questions. But they're not questions. You know what I mean? Like they're statements posed to be questions. Like perfect example is Alex Jones and like the Sandy Hook shooting. You know what I mean? Like we're just asking questions. Those questions are easily answerable if you just looked into it, but you're not posing them as questions. Like you might be asking a question, but they're loaded questions that are statements. Like no, like you mean like if you have you're asking questions that the answer is in the question. Like Alex Jones was talking about Sandy Hook and like all these things. People can look at it if they want to, what he was saying. He lost $1 billion because of what he was saying. But I feel like, but that's the problem with what I'm talking about with muddying the waters with true evidence of things, is that you can post things that are thought-provoking, but if there's no actual question in posting a video and then putting your logo on the video. Do you know what I mean? Like you can, I mean, in the description of the video, you can be like, what do you think? That doesn't help anyone if you're not putting what you think as the poster in the video. If they are thought-provoking videos, or if you're trying to provoke a conversation, be like, hey, this video seems kind of bunk. What do you think? Or if you're posting a video and you're like, this seems legit, what do you think? That makes sense. But for the most part, people are posting videos of just the most either obvious and or up in the air fake videos, and just being like, this is weird, right? Like that's not thought provoking. That's not, you're not provoking a conversation. You're basically getting people who already believe in what you're believing to interact with your stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it's just asking questions or thought provoking. You can provoke thought with whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you have to state your position and then ask a question. I don't believe in just posting something and being like, thoughts? Because that's you're not opening up a dialogue with, because I'm a big proponent of interacting with your community. And you know what I mean? Like, if I posted a video that was just some random bullshit and I said thoughts, if someone comments, I'm gonna fucking, first of all, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that, because I would be like, this is bunk. I don't believe this happened, or this is cool. I believe this happened. What do you think? And then if someone's like, I don't believe it happened, I would respond to that and like have like a dialogue with them. But just to be like, hey, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying he does that. He does a good job of like, but
Yes.
I mean, like, he's posting like the follow-ups and all these things, and like, it's just a thing. I don't know. I don't want to talk shit, because I do believe that he is doing it. He's doing it the right way. He is saying like, I might not believe this fully. What do you think? I'm just saying, going based off that.
Yeah.
There are some things that he posts that he doesn't open that dialogue. He just kind of goes thoughts, like, and then doesn't interact with a lot of the comments. He'll interact with some, I will say that, but also his page it's not huge, but he does get a lot of comments. So I'm not asking him to like, I'm not being like, answer every comment, you fucking asshole. It does get exhausting. I get it.
Yeah.
Because like he did respond to some of my comments, and I appreciate that. But the thing is, the fact that he told me when I commented on one thing, he kind of agreed with what I was saying, but to perpetuate the Miami thing, you know what I mean? Like, because that's what it is. It's perpetuating by continuously posting about it. And I understand that it's a hot topic right now. You want clicks, you want algorithm hits, you want all that stuff. But by perpetuating what's going on, you're again muddying the waters of actual paranormal and or UFO stuff by being vague about what you believe about what you're posting. Like, if you're going to have a paranormal and or UFO and or cryptid, whatever, only post what you think is legitimate stuff, because again, outsiders, people that, you know, maybe randomly shows up in someone's feed, they're gonna be like, fuck this. Like, they're not gonna believe, unless you're already like a super true believer, you're not gonna believe in what you're seeing. And it muddies the water, because when a real piece of really cool evidence that actually does seem like this is legit, they're just gonna fucking go back to someone posted a video of a statue and said that it was a fucking alien. You know what I mean? Like, does that make sense? I keep asking if it makes sense, because I ramble a lot, and I'm so sorry.
So, dude, it's all good. It's all good. I get what you're putting down, man.
I'm not talking shit about him. He's a good dude. His Instagram's good, but again,
yeah,
he's
an amazing guy.
Oh yeah, but it is one of those things. Like, I get that you're trying to get views. I get that you're trying to get engagement, but perpetuating something that initially you kind of had, I don't know. It's just like, I get it, but at the same time, like, you're not helping the cause that you believe in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I just, I couldn't do that. What's wild is that one Bigfoot drone footage thing, like, that was cool. To be completely honest with you, Bigfoot's kind of bullshit. I know. I'm not gonna go into it right now.
Ouch.
Dude, it's just a
That
whole
hurt
thing.
my heart,
Like,
man. That
it's
hurt
just,
my heart.
it's like a whole thing. I have this weird thing about, like, it's like Loch Ness Monster. Like, fuck that, dude. Fuck Loch Ness Monster. Yeah. Fuck Champ, Tahoe Tessie, all that, dude. Like, and Loch Ness Monster is what got me into cryptids. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a paleontologist. I was a huge nerd. I mean, not that I'm not now. If you look at my background, it's just all Star Wars and the video game Rage and like a 4-year strong poster. You know what I mean? Like,
Rage was a good game.
Yo, Rage 2, Rage 2, so good. But no, I was a huge fan of dinosaurs, huge fan. And then I learned about Loch Ness Monster, plesiosaur that maybe was still alive, and that's kind of what got me into the thing. And then I was into aliens for like a really long time. Like, I mean, long time, I still am, but Loch Ness Monster was what really kicked it off.
Yeah.
But as I got older, I stopped believing in like the mainstream cryptids because it's been so long. Why is there nothing? You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's why the show that I do, I'll never do a Bigfoot episode. I'll never do it because I can't full-throated say that, like, you're telling me that hundreds of years of Bigfoot sightings, Yeti sightings, skunk ape, woods devil in New Hampshire, whatever the fuck, like, nothing. There's a big footprint somewhere. Cool, dude. That could happen because someone stepped in snow and then it melted and it elongated everything. There's so many things. I can't do it. I can't put my full-throated support behind a Bigfoot. The weird one-off sightings, the weird things that are more unexplainable, I believe more than that. Like Mothman, 100% believe in Mothman, Flatwoods Monster, Enfield Monster, fucking whatever. Like, it's those weird one-off things that, like, there's no breeding population of a Dover demon. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like, could be like a dimensional thing. Like, maybe it came through a rift. Maybe there was, you know what I mean? Like, for some reason, to me, that's more believable than a breeding population of 7 to 8 foot tall, big-footed monsters who apparently have babies and no one's ever seen it not in a blurry photo. I'm sorry. You look so upset right now. And I didn't mean to bum you out. I'm so sorry.
It's your opinion, man. That's
the thing.
I don't.
It's my opinion. Now, opinions are, changeable. I will gladly change my opinion. I will always. Yeah. But the one thing that solidified it for me is, do you listen to Sasquatch Chronicles?
I have a little bit, but not not religiously.
Dude, all right. So there was one episode, and this almost like solidified the fact that I almost wrote off Bigfoot completely, 100%. There was a dude who was talking about how he stumbled across like a Bigfoot, and then he went back the next day. He couldn't find it. So he went into the woods and he found like an old lady, and he's like, "Oh yeah, come to my house." And then he goes to their house, and she had like a Bigfoot sanctuary, and it was like a house, like one of the walls was knocked down so that way the Bigfoots could come in, and she would babysit their kids while the Bigfoots would go out hunting. And the Bigfoot kids enjoyed watching SpongeBob on TV. Like, this is like a 3-hour episode, by the way.
Holy
and
shit.
all this stuff. And then this is a direct quote. He's like, "Yeah, I was staring off when I saw this Sasquatch. And, she has some big old titties, and she saw me staring at them, and she looked at me and she grunted, and I was like, are you fucking kidding? You sexually, like visually sexually assaulted this Bigfoot, and she got mad at you? Like, can't be real." Like, and the host is just like, "Oh yeah, huh? Oh wow, that's crazy." Like, no pushback, like nothing. Like, there has to be something. But yeah, Bigfoot's. I don't believe in Bigfoot. I don't think. I don't know. I don't think.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I want to believe I have never had an experience. I have never seen anything.
You don't have to have an experience to believe in something.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying.
I believe in ghosts full throated. I don't believe it's a spirit, but I believe in ghosts full. That's what it is. My wife, if I was to ever see a ghost, she'd be like, "No, you didn't. Fuck you. You're a piece of shit. We're getting a divorce." Like, maybe not that aggressive, but she would not believe that I saw a ghost. I do believe in ghosts. I am 90% sure that I don't believe in Bigfoot.
All right. 90%. There's still 10% there.
Yeah, but
that
I mean,
Colorado sighting, I didn't believe for sure.
The one that I was just talking about, the fucking drone footage.
No, not the drone. They were on a train, and they're going around.
No, yeah. I'm good with that. You can miss me with that shit. But
Yeah,
it's just like, but even the fucking Peterson, whatever the fuck footage, that dude came out and said it was fake.
Did he?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yes.
No fucking way. I don't believe you.
Hold on.
Say that.
I hold on. I'm 80%. Now that you said no, maybe I fucked up.
Okay.
Is it the Patterson footage?
I know his neighbor
Patterson.
It's Patterson Gimlin.
Wait, you're talking his nephew? You know his nephew?
No.
Oh, because I had a buddy he's a barber, and they're fucking like this dude's nephew or whatever came in to get a haircut, and told him about my show. It didn't help at all.
I feel like the neighbor was trying to say that it wasn't real, but that's the only thing that I ever heard.
Hold on. This is gonna take me forever to find, and the fact that it's not on the first page, maybe I'm lying. But I remember someone said, I remember hearing that one of them said that it was fake.
Okay.
But even if it's not, whatever. Fuck Bigfoot. I'm so sorry. I hope your listeners aren't bummed out right now.
They probably are. They're probably
why,
like,
though?
what the? They're probably like, fuck this guy. No, I'm just.
Well,
kidding.
no, it's not even that. It's just like you got to have a healthy sense of skepticism.
Yes, you're right.
I believe what I believe, and whether or not it's valid is up to me, not you. Belief is subjective.
Yes.
Objective, subjective, subject. I don't know the difference. Subjective.
Subjective, yeah.
Yeah, and like I again live in a weird fantasy world where I want to believe what I want to believe, and I feel like the more one-off things are easier to believe, whether or not they saw a cryptid, like Enfield monster type shit, like whether maybe they saw a three-legged dog and it was fucking weird looking, and you know what I mean?
Saw
Like
a weird looking three-legged dog.
I love, dude. I don't know what it is about me, but I'm a big fan of this sounds weird, but like mutilated animals. Like I had a three-legged cat. Loved that cat. You know what I mean? Like if a cat has like if a cat or a dog has like missing like one eye or like one leg or two legs. Like if I see it, I'm like, this is my animal now. I will bring that animal home. Like, I don't know what it is, but like, I love that shit. But I just feel like
that's good.
But the more weird one-off things, I'm more apt to believe, because why would you make that up? And no, like there's no reason. Like some people do get monetary value out of it. They get book deals or interviews, or they go on like the MUFON circuit or whatever the fuck. Like it doesn't matter. But I feel like Bigfoot, Nessie, Champ, those types of things, it's easy to say you saw them, and especially if you're in an area that is quote unquote like highly populated by them. You know what I mean? But are they highly populated because there's more sightings there? Because people say they saw them, or is there actually a huge population of them there? But if there's a huge population of them there, and there's all these sightings, why has no one found a body? Why has no one found alive? Why is no one shot? You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of things like that. Like both Mothman, Flatwoods Monster, those kind of things. Like they were just like in and out. They were there, they were gone. You know what I mean? Like it's just, I believe those things more, because why would you lie about that? Maybe it's easier to lie about that because no one can ever confirm that you saw them. Like they were in and out, they were gone. Mothman's different. That was a whole year. That was a year of Mothman, UFOs, Men in Black in Point Pleasant. It all culminated with the collapse of the Silver Bridge. That's even wilder. The fact that it was a whole year.
Yeah,
that's insane.
That is insane.
There's a lot of corroborating evidence of what it could be. I don't believe it was a bird. That's fucking insane. That's a big bird. I've seen cranes. I know what cranes look like. They're not that. Like, you know what I mean? Like Flatwoods Monster, they're trying to say it was an owl on a rooftop. Or not a rooftop, but a tree branch. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. It's just
I heard that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, fuck Bigfoot.
All right. Well, man, we're definitely at 2 hours now, so I try and keep it hour and a half, 2 hours. So with that,
my last words are gonna be fuck Bigfoot.
I like to ask everybody, are you finding fulfillment in your life with like your show and everything that you're doing?
Yeah, we're coming up on a year now of the show. I think January 29th will be 1 year. And I feel like recently, within the past, like even just the past few months, like I feel like now the show is kind of not taking off, but I've gotten a lot more offers to be like guests. I've gotten I just got a write up in Paranormal magazine, which is kind of cool.
Nice.
They misquoted me and then added a quote that I didn't say at the very end.
Oh no shit.
But I mean, it's still like it all got the point across. Like, and no, like it's not bad. Like I'm not mad about it. I did say in the email, like, if you need to edit this for whatever, like that's fine. But yeah, no, I do feel like I am fulfilled. I think that I always consider my show like an entry point for people that are trying to get into like the cryptid community kind of thing. Like I'm not going to go NPR. It's not very informational. I always try to do like it's very broad. Like I do the stories of the witnesses leading up to it, whatever. I don't go into like what it could be, the theories behind it. It's straight stories, just because I want the people listening and my guests, to just hear those stories. If you want to get further information, there are way better podcasts out there that are like 3 hours long that will dive deep into it. I'm not a deep dive podcast. I am very much, this is the story, this is what happened, or quote unquote what happens, and that's it. But yeah, no, I am very fulfilled with what I do. I think it's good. It's getting there. It's just me, so it's kind of hard to make sure that it's very consistent. But yeah, no, it's good. I like it.
Well, I will say you tell the stories very well. So I will tell you that. Because I listen to almost every single episode. I'll just tell you that.
I do try to write the scripts the same way that I talk, so that way it doesn't seem like I'm reading off a script. It's very obvious I'm reading off a script, but I do try to write them the same way that I would say it to someone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It gets hard though, but I you know, it is what it is.
All right, Dave. Why don't you tell everybody one more time where they can find you and your show?
All right, so you can find Cryptid Cocktail Party on Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Find Cryptid Cocktail on Instagram at Cryptid Cocktail. You can find me on TikTok at Cryptid Cocktail Party. You can find me on Twitter, X, whatever the fuck. I don't ever use it, so don't bother even trying to do that. Yeah, that's it. I don't have a website or anything like that because I'm too poor to buy a domain name. So yeah, pretty much Instagram, TikTok. That's where I'm at.
Dope, man. Dope. Well, I appreciate you coming on because time is the most expensive, or the most valuable currency, I should say.
Is it?
You know
I got
what
nothing going on. I'm going to a show tonight at a bar. I'm going to fucking get hammered.
Drink some more.
Hardcore.
Nice, man. Nice. Well, guys, that is the show. So go check out Cryptid Cocktail Party. I'd appreciate it, and Dave would appreciate it.
It's either here nor there. I don't care.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to rhyme that. That's pretty good. That's bars, dude. Bars right there.
Bars are hard. Anyways, if you guys like today's episode or any of the episodes, please like, follow, share, subscribe, leave a rating and review if you feel the generosity in your bones to do so. You can check out the website.
I will find your IP address and I will personally come to your house. I'm not gonna fight you, but I will give you a very disappointed look. Like when like a father would. Like I'm not mad, just disappointed in you. Just gonna say that. So leave a rating and review. All right. Whether you believe what you're saying or not, it doesn't matter. Just 5-star. You as wild as that on Apple, you don't even have to leave a review. You can just rate it.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
That is all that matters.
Sorry to interrupt you. I'm just saying. I will be very disappointed in anyone listening to this episode. This episode particularly, not giving a rating and review is sacrilegious, in my opinion. Sorry, Kevin, continue.
That was fucking hilarious. I will give you a stern looking at.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of eyebrow. So much eyebrow. Just really.
Arms folded across your chest.
It's gonna be very Robert De Niro and Meet the Fockers. Very.
You milk my nipples too?
Yeah.
You milk my nipples?
It's gonna be one of those. Very wide. Come on.
It's Jinxie Cat. It's but go check out the website. There's a blog on there. You can also leave a rating and review on the website as well. You can get to the merch store on there. There's the chat room.
I gotta buy a shirt.
You can't. Nice, I'd appreciate it. You have to be a Patreon member to get into the chat room. So go check out the Patreon too, because there's stuff on there. Not a whole lot just yet, but there will be.
Dude,
just give
all
it
right,
some
real
time.
quick. So I set up my Patreon, and I was pretty good with it for like a day and a half, and then I got COVID, and I was like down for the count for like 2 weeks. And I felt really bad because the day I announced my Patreon, I had one patron immediately sign up, and I was like, fuck. Like,
oh no.
And to this, like, this is like a few weeks, not a few weeks ago, but if anyone wants to subscribe to the Patreon, I'll get there eventually. But also, Kevin deserves your money more because I'm bad at doing any of these things.
I've taken a while. I fucking I proed and con like it was just like I was on the fence for a long time with the Patreon, and like there's people that are like, dude, people are gonna like you if they want to support you. That's like the best way. I was like,
No,
yeah, but I don't want
it's
to. I don't
not.
want to
Honestly,
get people to fucking.
I'm considering just getting rid of it. I feel like the best way people will support you is merch, and that's it.
Yeah,
because
that's true.
Especially for me, because I am not a consistent person. The fact that I have put out an episode almost every week for a whole year is mind-boggling to me. like, and I did bonus episodes too this year, which is wild.
That is wild.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I've never been this consistent, and then I set up a Patreon, and then it just all fell out the window. The consistency was just gone.
Rats.
Yeah, so but anyways, follow Where the Weird Ones Are on Instagram at @where_the weird ones are. Follow The Weird Ones Are on Patreon. It's only, how much is it?
$5 a month.
It's only $5 a month, and that's one rate, and you get all of the content. You might get what do they get?
They get Conspiracy Tuesdays.
They get Conspiracy Tuesdays, ad-free episodes.
Story time.
They get story time. They got a chat.
A free mug.
You get a free mug, a chat room that you can be in. Come on, guys. $5 a month. You're losing money if you don't take that deal. That's all I'm saying. Make sure you follow them, like I said, on Instagram, @where_the weird ones are. Buy a t-shirt. They look dope. They look like old school deathcore t-shirts that were just the bold font. But it's on the front though. It's not on the back, which is where it should be. So if you want a shirt that looks like maybe an old school Job for a Cowboy t-shirt, this is the place to get it. Or an old Amir shirt. If you like Amir, this is the place to get those shirts. And with that, Kevin, do you want to say goodbye to the audience?
I would love to. Question everything and stay weird.
This concludes our broadcast day. Click.
Because in the end, none of us have very long on this earth. Life is fleeting. And if you're ever distressed, cast your eyes to the summer sky. When the stars are strung across the velvety night, and when a shooting star streaks through the blackness, turning night into day, make a wish.